The first thing that we're going to do is redefine self-trust. We have to, because I've worked with thousands of people with ADHD from all over the world, from all corners of the globe. And here is how most people with ADHD define self-trust. I believe that every decision I make will be perfect. I believe that everything I do is going to work out well. If I had self-trust, I could trust myself to do everything right. Anyone? Is that how you're defining self-trust, my loves? Is it? If I had self-trust, I would be able to make decisions that always worked out. I would be able to know, like, this is a good decision and this is going to work out for me. And here's the thing, that's not self-trust, that's perfectionism. That is perfectionism. Turn to your neighbor. Turn to your neighbor and say, that's just perfectionism. That's not self-trust, okay? So we must redefine self-trust. Self-trust is actually, I believe myself. I believe myself. I believe that my experience is real, and I know that I will take care of myself in this process. I will figure out how to move forward no matter what. Whether or not this decision works out, I trust myself to move forward no matter what. Whether or not this goes well for me, I trust that I will figure it out. Okay? I will always persist. I will always find a way to get the thing done. Okay? So understanding the definition of self-trust is so important, because when we tell ourselves, I don't trust myself to do this, I don't trust myself to follow through, I don't trust myself to get this done, I don't trust myself to make this decision, that's coming from a place of perfectionism and wanting it to work out perfectly. But we don't get to predict the future. We don't get to be God. We don't get to know that everything is going to be perfect. What we do want to establish is, I know me, I can take care of me, and no matter what, I'm going to figure it out. If you had that, if you could like buy it at Target, I know me, I believe me, and no matter what, I'm going to figure it out. If you could like purchase that at Target, like, how much would we pay for that? That would be amazing. I know I'm going to figure it out, right? Okay. So here's the thing about ADHDers, and this part might just like be a little bit hard. This part might make us feel a feeling or two, and I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. But here's what you need to know about psychology and how self-trust is formed. Did you know that self-trust is actually a developmental process that is built in healthy enough families by caregivers? Self-trust is a developmental process that is built in healthy enough families. Self-trust is not innate. It is taught and it is modeled in childhood. I'm pausing here because when I learned that, I fell off my chair, metaphorically speaking. Metaphorically speaking, I fell off my chair. Yeah, Lena said, well, I didn't expect that gut punch. And for me, it was a gut punch. Because let me know if you relate to this. For 4 decades, I blamed myself for not having self-trust. For 4 decades, I blamed myself for not having self-trust. And the self-blame and the shame and the self-loathing kept me stuck so that I really couldn't move forward, because I didn't have the self-trust and I was blaming myself for my lack of self-trust. Even if your family was a healthy enough family. Growing up as a neurodivergent person in a neurotypical world is a very traumatic experience, as we know. Going to school with neurotypicals, being in the workplace with neurotypicals, maybe marrying or dating neurotypicals who just don't get it, who think that your way of doing things is the wrong way, and they tell you that. Okay? That's pretty tough. That erodes self-trust. Self-trust is not built or sustained in isolation. It's a community event. Okay? It's a community event. Self-trust is a community event. So it's built when caregivers in the community validate your needs, validate your emotions, validate your perception, they provide a mirror for you of your experience and encourage your autonomy and resilience. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know anything about your life. I don't know anything about your family. But I can tell you, for me, and for the clients that I coach, that was not our experience in childhood and adolescence. It was not our experience to be validated, our needs being validated, our emotions being validated, our perception being validated, our autonomy being encouraged. Okay? So instead, from my experience and from the experience of the people that I coach, instead, what I hear so often is, I was so misunderstood. Everything I did was quote unquote wrong. I couldn't seem to do anything right. I was always walking on eggshells. I never felt like the way that I did something was the quote unquote right way. Okay. And so because of that, we don't have that strong self-trust developed over time. Remember, it is a developmental process. It's a developmental process that is built by other people for us. Okay? This is not like my own information. This is not my own assumption. This is based on what we know about human psychology. Okay? So there's so much more I could go on about, but the key takeaway is your lack of self-trust is not your fault. Now, I know that you're going to say, but you don't know what I've done. You don't know all of the ways that I've screwed up. You don't know all of the broken promises. You don't understand, Kristen. And to that, I will say, my love, my dear, my friend, I do understand. I've lived it and I've coached thousands of people with ADHD. I do understand. But what I can tell you is that, yes, we have evidence of things going wrong, and so does every other human. That's called being human. Okay? It's so important that we understand that if we continue to blame ourselves, we're just going to keep ourselves stuck. How many of you feel like you're stuck? How many of you just feel like, I just can't get myself moved. I'm just stuck. Okay. And so the question that I always really like to ask is, oh gosh, the chat's going crazy. Yes, yes, yes. Me. So many raised hands here. Oh my gosh. Sending you so much support. The question that I always love to ask is, how is blaming yourself working out for you? How's that working? Is it doing good? Do you feel like is it helping you to get unstuck? Is it helping you to move forward? Yeah. It makes it so much worse. It's horrible. It's not working. It leads nowhere. Yeah. Yes, Joshua is making a really good point. Blaming myself is not working out for me, but it does feel good for a short time. Yeah, and that's why we do it, right? Because it does give us that like sense of control. Because if it's my fault, then I can change it. But the irony is that we don't change it. Okay? So this is not about blaming anyone necessarily. This is not about blaming your parents. This is not about blaming society. This is just recognizing that self-trust is a developmental process that I missed out on, and that's not my fault. Okay? Like you and your therapist can work on your childhood. That's not my job or within my boundaries as a coach. That's for you and your therapist to work on, like understanding your childhood and how that shaped you. But I will tell you, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to think about the past, and I don't want to get stuck in the past, and the past is in the past. And my favorite quote is, I'm not living in the past. The past is living in me. I'm not living in the past. The past is living in me. And so when I say self-trust is a developmental process that is meant to take place in our formative years, and if you don't have it, that's a good place to look. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not living in the past. The past is living in me. The past has shaped who I am. It's built my brain. It's built my nervous system. It's built my emotional regulation. It's built my ability to focus or not focus. Okay? Do you see how it's all intertwined and connected? So again, this is not about blame. This is not about any of that. This is about just recognizing, okay. Self-trust is an issue for me, and I can stop blaming myself for it. I don't know where to pin it, and that's okay. That's for you and your therapist to work out. But what I do know is it's not my fault. And I can give a little bit of relief to that. I can take a deep breath. And I can ground myself, and I can fully know, okay, this isn't an issue. This is something I want to work on, but I don't have to keep beating myself up for it. Should we take a deep breath together? This is a lot. I told you it would be like drinking out of a fire hose. I'm not joking. I want to give you a lot of information. Don't worry, we're sending you a replay. Don't worry, we're sending you a replay. Take a nice big deep breath in and a nice big deep breath out. I will remind you over and over that this summer within my focus program, we are embarking on the summer of self-trust. And my goodness, do I want you to join me? Okay. I want you to go to ihaveadhd.com/focused. I want you to kind of get a feel for whether or not you think that this would be a good fit for you. But I for sure can guarantee you that if self-trust is something that you want to work on, this is the place to heal it within Focused. I'm going to pop the link into the chat. Okay, let's move on. Yep, I just did, Shane. I hope that's helpful to you. Okay, where are we? I'm taking a deep breath too, so I can ground myself. All right, let's talk about the 3 pillars of self-trust. Are you ready? It was the title of the webinar. It's why you're here. The 3 pillars of self-trust. The 3 pillars are, self-trust is made up from 3 pillars, which is really in the definition that I gave to you. I believe myself. Now, here's what's so important. Before I realized and had self-awareness, I truly gaslit myself a ton. And here's what it sounds like. Stop thinking that you're stupid. Kristen, why are you doing that? You're so dumb. No, you're fine, Kristen. Just work harder. You don't need that. Why do you think you need that? You don't need that. What are you even doing? You're so stupid. That was my inner self-talk. I did not believe myself at all. So when I had the thought, oh gosh, I'm so tired, I would immediately have a thought to combat it, which was like, you're being such a baby. Everybody else can do it. Why can't you? Hello, anyone? Anyway, if I had the thought, I really don't want to do this, even if I had like a full body resistance to doing something, which was like important information. When you have full body resistance, that's actually really important information and you should listen to it. And do you know what I did? Kristen, you're being so dumb. Cut it out. Just do it anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. Just do it anyway. That's a problem. So I did not believe myself. Now, as someone who has practiced self-trust so much, now when I have a thought like, I'm so tired, I don't know if I can do this, what I say back to me is, tell me everything. What's going on? What do you need? Imagine. What do you need? What's going on with you? Tell me everything. Okay, that's what it sounds like to believe yourself. Tell me, what do you need? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Dessa says, right, and I can't do that anymore. Yeah. So the self-trust has been eroded because I don't believe myself when I tell myself, this is too hard, I'm too tired, I need help. No, you don't need help. Or even something like, for example, oh my gosh, maybe focus would help me. And then immediately, why? You're being stupid. You should do this on your own. You should be able to do this on your own. Everybody else can do it on their own. Why can't you? Hello? That's called gaslighting yourself. Okay. So I just want to make it really clear that one of the core pillars of self-trust is actually believing yourself. Okay. Believing yourself when you tell yourself some important information. The next pillar of self-trust is actually understanding yourself and taking care of your needs. I think what we want to do, what we prefer to do, is pretend that we don't have needs. I don't need to eat. I don't need to sleep. I don't need to use the restroom. And if I do need those things, I feel shame. What's wrong with you? You're so lazy. You're so needy. You're being so stupid. You're being such a baby. Just for having a normal human need. So self-trust is, I believe myself and I understand how to take care of myself. So much of your own struggle with ADHD, hear me, I've coached thousands of y'all. So much of your own struggle is just meeting your basic needs. Are you sleeping? Are you eating? Are you resting when you're tired? Are you moving your body in a way that feels good? Yes, exactly. Jessica says, I don't understand what it means to take care of myself. So how in the world can we build self-trust when we don't even know ourselves or know how to take care of ourselves? When we don't know what it means to be kind, to believe ourselves, to actually take care of ourselves. So for example, as a person with ADHD, I take medication. That is a part of my everyday life. There have been times in my life that I have said, you shouldn't need to take medication. It's so embarrassing that you have to take medication every single day. You're such a baby. You're such a baby. So stupid. So stupid. Do you know what that leads me to do? Stop taking my medication. Do you know what that leads me to? Getting stuck, not moving forward, not being able to regulate myself, not being able to make forward progress, not being able to focus and get the things done that I need to do. Okay. So self-trust is very much about trusting yourself to take care of you. I want you to think about a child, just any child. Don't think about yourself. Think about just like a child. A child has to rely on their caregivers to believe them. I'm hungry. Okay, baby, let me feed you. I'm tired. All right, let's lay down and take a rest. I'm scared. When I would tell my parents that I was scared, I would be told, "You're fine. You're fine. There's no reason to be scared. You're fine." Okay, the problem with that is I never learned to believe my own body and my own reactions. Okay, which means I never learned to trust myself. Anyone? Okay, I know this is deep. Are you guys okay? Yes, who said that? MK said, my feelings were denied so much. And I will assume, I'm going to make an assumption about you, MK, that you struggle to identify your feelings now, that you struggle to trust your feelings now, that you struggle to know even what to do with your feelings now. Lizzie says, this is hitting so hard, but in a good way. Yeah, big hugs, big hugs. Okay, the last component of self-trust, the last pillar is I believe that I'm going to figure it out. I know I'm going to figure it out. I know that I'm going to figure it out. Here's the thing that we try to do. We try to predict the future and say, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can trust myself. I don't know if and so we don't take that promotion. We don't say yes to opportunities. We keep ourselves small. We keep ourselves stuck. We don't even make goals because we don't believe that we're going to accomplish them. That's called failing ahead of time. That's called failing ahead of time. I'm just going to fail now and not take the opportunity so that I don't have to feel that feeling of failure or shame or whatever the case may be. Yes. At the moment of it happening. And listen, a lot of times we do start down a pathway and then we understand like, oh, this isn't the right path. Here's the thing with people who trust themselves, because I know, because I've been someone who didn't trust herself, and now I am someone who does trust herself. Prior to doing this work, when I would start down a path and really get the feeling like, shoot, I don't think this is right. I want to make a change, or I want to quit, or I want to go in a different direction. Do you know what I would think about myself? Here you go again. You're so unreliable. You're never consistent with anything. You're not doing anything that you say you're going to do. That was my self-talk. I wonder if you relate to that. Because now the difference after doing this self-trust work is when I go down a path and I figure out, this isn't the right path, or I want to make a change, or this doesn't feel right to me. Do you know what I do? I pivot. I almost use the F word. I'm so sorry. I almost, that's not professional on a webinar to use that F word. Instead of calling myself a quitter, I actually just allow myself to pivot because I trust myself. They're like, yeah, this wasn't for me. This isn't what I want to do. I'm just going to make a change because I know me and I believe me and I know I'm going to figure this out. So even though I started down this path and I don't feel like it's the right direction for me, I know myself. I believe myself. I understand myself, and I know I'm going to figure it out. If every ADHDer could do that, we would be an unstoppable force, a distracted, explosive, hilarious, unstoppable force. But instead, we get bogged down in shame. We get bogged down in self-judgment. We get bogged down in self-loathing. I can't believe you're pivoting again. That's so embarrassing. You never follow through on anything. Ugh. I just went to a place. I just went to a dark place after saying that. The 3 pillars: I believe myself, I understand and take care of myself, I will figure this out. I know I will figure it out, even if it does go wrong. So when you approach a decision with the self-assurance that no matter what happens, I'm going to figure it out, then you can follow through on the decision regardless. I just coached somebody. So I have a coaching program. I coach adults from all over the world. And I just coached somebody from New Orleans, and we were just chatting like 2 hours ago. And she's trying to decide whether or not to move back into her parents to save money. And we talked about this very thing. It doesn't matter if you move back in with them or not. You can, or you don't have to. But if you do, like either way, you're allowed to pivot. You're gonna figure it out. So if you move back in with your parents and it ends up not being the right fit, who the F cares? Just move out. Find something else. Like, that's the whole point. I know I'm going to figure it out no matter what. No matter what. Oh, how you doing? How you doing? I'm just going to do a quick check-in. Maybe you could take a deep breath. Maybe you could just like wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath. Wiggle those toes. For me, wiggling my toes is so grounding. It's so grounding. Brad says, this is hitting home. This is exactly where I am in life. All right, as you're taking a deep breath, I'm going to read the 3 pillars for you again. Actually, I'll pop them into the chat. I believe myself. I understand and take care of myself. I know I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully this works. It was too long. All right, well, let's try again. I believe myself. I know and understand myself. I will figure it out. All right, now you have it. I just learned this morning that I can't share my screen on here. I'm still learning about YouTube. By the way, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, that would be really amazing if you would just take that split second to hit that subscribe button for me. Yeah, Karen says, I understand now why my career didn't move forward in the way that I thought it would, because I kept myself small so that I wouldn't, quote unquote, overstretch. Exactly. Wow. Karen, thank you for that insight. I totally, really, really, really appreciate that. Okay, I have one more component and a free resource for you. Okay, I'm going to give you, here's what I'm going to do. I don't think I've ever done this before. I'm going to give you 12 to 20. What is that? Like almost 10 pages of one of my workbooks. Thank you for subscribing, Erin. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm going to give you a portion of my self-trust workbook. Okay, I'm going to do that. Thank you, Anne Sophie, appreciate you. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I want you to walk away with a very practical something in your hand, something that you can really sink your teeth into as far as building self-trust. Okay? So I'm going to give that to you. Before I do, I want to let you know that this summer within my ADHD coaching program, we are embarking on the summer of self-trust. And I want you to join me so bad. I want you to join me so bad that I'm giving you $100 coupon for half off your first month. Just so that you can give it a try. Okay? So I'm going to pop the link, and also Heather and Felicia, if you are here, if you could just keep popping the link and the code into the chat. Hold on, let me type it. I can't type and talk at the same time, guys. I have ADHD. Okay, do you see the link there? So that is the link to join Focused. And in the checkout, you can enter the coupon code half off. So when you enter the coupon code half off, you're going to get half off your first month. Just within this first month, we are going to be talking about, actually, let me go look at our actual calendar. I wish I could share my screen, but I can't. We are going to talk about what is self-trust. So I'm going to be able to go in so much deeper about self-trust. We're going to talk about how to trust yourself with money, how to trust yourself with food and nutrition, accessing self-trust through your nervous system. We're going to talk about healing regret and making peace with the past. We're going to have a ton of coaching calls as well. So those are just class topics. We're going to talk about motivation and how motivation and self-trust are combined. Okay. So we're still talking about the F word. The F word is acceptable. I love this so much. You get so much within the focused program. And this summer, we're doing the summer of self-trust, which means it's the focused program. We're doing all of our focus stuff. So we have 3 to 5 live calls a week. We have body doubling around the clock. We have classes on topics relating to ADHD and self-trust. And we have coaching calls, which is just where you come up and you and I have a conversation. We have a face-to-face, one-on-one conversation, and I get to coach you, and it's amazing. There's 3 to 5 calls per week, and at least one of them is a coaching call, and at least one of them is just like a class. I understand the irony. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I will give you the free resource. I understand the irony of you needing self-trust to join Focused so that you can study self-trust. Can we just sit with that freaking annoying irony? The irony of needing self-trust in order to join Focused and study self-trust. It's annoying. It's really annoying. I understand. I understand. That's part of the reason why I am offering a coupon code. It's part of the reason why, just to make it easier for you to kind of take off some of that barrier, some of that barrier to entry. Okay. If that makes sense, that's partially why we're using the code half off to get half off of your first month, because I know of all the all of the self-trust that's needed. I get it. It's annoying. Hold on just a second. Let me make sure. Okay. I don't trust myself on where to spend money. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course. That makes complete sense. And I'm not here to tell you where to spend your money. but I am here to validate the fact. I am here to validate the fact that, like, of course, you don't trust yourself to spend money. Yeah, I completely understand. That is a huge reason why we're wanting to build self-trust. Okay, let me share. This is the last, oh gosh, this disappeared. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, great. This is the last portion of the teaching time together, and then I will be answering as many questions as I can. I will be prioritizing questions that have to do with self-trust, since this is a self-trust webinar. Does that make sense? So if there are questions about other things pertaining to ADHD, if I have time, I will get to them. But since we are all here to learn about self-trust, I'm going to prioritize questions that are about self-trust. Here is that free resource for you. It is a PDF. Let me just make sure it works. Okay. If you could work on one thing, if I could give you one direction, if I could give you one place to start on the road to building self-trust, here's what I would encourage you to do. Begin to forgive yourself for your past mistakes. Who wants to vomit? I'll hold the puke bucket for you. I know none of us want to do that. Yeah, Chad says, yeah, right. I will hold the puke bucket for you. But here's the thing. There is no way to move forward when you are tethered to all of your mistakes in the past. Hear me say it again. I'm going to say it over and over. There is no way to move forward when you are still carrying around all of your mistakes like a ball and chain. Samanga says, that is so triggering, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I understand. So many of us hold on to our regret and our shame and our mistakes, and we just beat ourselves up with it over and over. And that is a massive reason why we stay stuck. And if there is anything that I could help you with today, it would be, let me help you relieve yourself of the burden of carrying around all of that shame, all of that blame, all of that horrible feeling. I'm going to pop this here for you again. That's the PDF. Okay. I'm going to review this. I'm going to go through it quickly. And for anyone watching the replay, we'll put it in the description. Okay, we'll put it in the description so that you can access it. I'm going to go through this quickly, but honestly, this what I have given to you is gold. This is a small portion of the Self-Trust Workbook. So within Focused, I have an entire course on self-trust. And this is a small portion of the workbook that I wanted to give to you. And it's the portion that is concentrating on forgiving yourself for your past mistakes. I understand that you may have a dumpster fire to point to of all of your past mistakes. I understand. I understand that you may have a long list of evidence of your past mistakes. I do too. And I still feel shame for some of it, especially as it pertains to parenting for me personally, because it wasn't until 5 years ago that I really understood my ADHD, that I really began treating it, that I really began doing self-development work. I guess more like 7 years ago. So my oldest was, I already had 3 kids, and I had already done quite a bit of damage, which I'm working on healing right now with them. And that's beautiful because there's always redemption to be had. But I understand that we often carry around a long list of evidence that we don't do things right. But the thing is, again, I'm going to ask the question, how is it working for you to carry around that regret, that shame, that blame, that ball and chain, staying tethered to your past mistakes? How is it working? Is it helping you to move forward? Is it helping you to make decisions that you're proud of now? Is it helping you to be the person that you want to be now? Anyone? I know that's the most annoying question I can ask. I really do feel like a bitch when I ask that question. I'm very sorry about it. I'm very sorry. Very sorry. I'm very sorry. It's so annoying, right? It's so annoying. So self-compassion is absolutely necessary. Now, the PDF that I shared with you, and I'll share it again, will help you. It walks you through how to forgive yourself, okay? Making amends with yourself, really important. Making amends with other people that you know that you've harmed, really, really important, okay? And seeing and understanding yourself is the last part that I want to say here. If you could share with me something that you're doing right. What are you doing right? What's working out well? Like, there is evidence that you can trust yourself. You're kind to the people that you love most of the time. You do love the people in your life. You haven't given up. You're still plodding on. You are here at a webinar live. Like, you're not just watching the replay. And for those of you watching the replay, what's up? I'm glad you're here. No shade to you. But like, you are here watching the replay live. Yes, Chad says attending focus webinars. Chad, I love it. Taking care of my ADHD. I finally got diagnosed, says Denise. That's awesome. I'm using tools like Notion to help me with organization, says Buzzworthy. Amazing. I'm getting back on the metaphorical horse, says Jocelyn. Like, these are amazing things. I keep trying to get better, says Sarah. You are doing it. I'm actively changing the family pattern. Incredible. I'm not giving up, says Susan. Amazing. I'm building on the work my mom did and making my kids comfortable with our brains. Yes, I love it. Yoga is so helpful. I agree, Brianna. I'm making progress, getting moving and finishing tasks. Do you see that you actually do have some kind of good evidence here? Do you actually see that there are good things that you're doing? Okay, that's incredible. It's incredible. Okay, I am going to take your questions. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. I'm getting hot thinking about all of the questions I saw already, like a bunch of questions. I want to remind you, go to ihaveadhd.com/focused. Use the code half off to join us for the Summer of Self-Trust. The code will give you half off of your first month. It is a savings of $100. If there are Focus members here, Focus members, are you in the house? If there are Focus members here, feel free to email my team, focused@ihaveadhd.com, and you will also get a gift because we love you and we take care of our people. Okay, if you join Focused, let me know. Let me know who here has already joined. Let me know if you've joined. I'm going to celebrate. I love it. It's so good. Chad's been a member for 3 months. Chad, that's awesome. I'm so glad. Maddie's been a member. That's amazing. Okay. Lika's been in 2.5 years. Best decision ever, she says. Okay, ED says, question, how to distinguish between trusting yourself to be able to take on a challenge and overcommitting? This is a really good question, and this requires a lot of nuance. Self-trust is not living in a fantasy world where you are pretending that you're invincible. Do you hear me, Ed or ED? Self-trust is not living in a fantasy world where you pretend that you're invincible. Okay? That gets us into a lot of trouble. That's not actually self-trust. That is a fantasy. Self-trust is a huge portion of this, understanding what your capacity is and trusting yourself to commit within the boundaries of your capacity. So self-trust is, where am I in life right now? Am I married? Do I have kids? Do I have a lot on my plate? How much time do I have? Can I truly dedicate my time to this? Okay. Self-trust is understanding your own capacity. Now that takes time. Self-trust is not a fast process. It's supposed to take about 10 years in childhood. Okay. So building it as an adult, we need to give it some time. But one of the key elements is understanding your capacity and believing yourself when you're like, it's too much. I can't do this. I'm already too tired. I'm already too overwhelmed. Remember, we're going back to believing ourselves, understanding ourselves. Okay? I hope that's helpful. Okay, I'm going to scroll up and see. Question, how to snap out of the paralyzing feeling when you need to do any task. Okay. I just recorded a podcast on that, Alma. So go check out the very free I Have ADHD podcast for episodes on building your capacity, understanding your capacity, understanding paralysis, and getting over like that wall of awful. Let me see. Question, how do we know when to believe ourselves versus question our thoughts that are trying to sabotage us? For example, I often use I'm tired to not work on hard things. This is where we actually have an understanding conversation with ourselves. So we don't just say I'm tired and then end the conversation there, but it's like, tell me more. Why are you tired? Is this tired because of lack of sleep, or is this tired because you're real bored? Is there a way that I can help you right now? Do we need to take a quick rest, or do you need a snack, or do you need to, do we need some coffee? So do you understand what I'm saying, where you could just say, I'm tired, and that's the end, rather than I'm tired. Okay, tell me more. So when my kid comes to me and they're like, for example, my son yesterday, I don't want to go to church. I'm so tired. And I was like, tell me everything. And he was like, I was at a conference yesterday. I feel really hungover from it. I'm just like exhausted. And I was like, well, what's the plan? And he's like, I'd like to sleep for 2 more hours. And I was like, that's reasonable. Go for it. Okay, so rather than like, suck it up, you're fine, get out of bed, let's go. Okay, tell me more. I hope that makes sense. Was that helpful to you? Just so you know, Heather and Felicia are a part of my team. And so Heather is my executive assistant. Felicia is my director of operations. And so they're answering your questions in the chat. Do you need a snack? Such a mom thing to say. I ask myself that question constantly because a lot of times the answer is yes. Okay, my loves, let me find the one thing I don't like about YouTube Live is that there's no question box like there is on Zoom. So I'm trying to scroll for your questions. If you want to repost your question, that would be great, but I will keep scrolling. Oh my gosh, I just saw this. KH said, focused for 3 months was better than years of therapy. It's meaningful, supportive, and amazing. Wow. My guess is that's Christy. If that's you, Christy, you're so sweet. That's so kind. I'm looking for your questions. Question, do you have an email address? You can email focused@ihaveadhd.com. Question, what is the schedule for your live sessions in Focused? It varies week to week because we try to accommodate people all over the world. So it varies. I personally work between the hours of 10 and 4 Eastern Standard Time, but we do have calls that fall outside of that as well. But I am very boundaried with my own time. Question, how can I prevent disappointing my partner by forgetting things or being late? Well, we can't manage or control our partner's feelings, unfortunately. If I could figure out how to do that, I would be so happy because I want to control everybody's feelings. How can I prevent disappointing my partner by forgetting things or being late? You can absolutely work on your time management. You can absolutely work on your working memory, which is, you're forgetting things. But as far as your partner's emotions, that's theirs to manage. That's theirs to manage. And why would we ever think that our partners are not meant to be disappointed sometimes? Like, that's just part of being partnered. Like, understanding that your partner is a human, it sucks to be married to a human. It's even harder to be married to a human with ADHD. Partners are going to feel disappointment, and that's okay. It's their job to manage that, not our job. Your job is to work on the forgetting things and being late. I have a lot of free podcast episodes on that, so you can go check those out. But the disappointment part, that's just part of being in relationship with human beings. Question, is there any way to predict when you'll have energy versus less? This is a great question. I've tried, oh, hold on. I think you're like, I'm not sure what you're saying here. I've tried menstrual cycle, but no, I was a potato for a month after an exam. Oh, you mean you've tried planning around your menstrual cycle, which is very smart. I was a potato for a month. I love that. I so relate. I think that this is a big part of understanding ourselves, and this takes some time. When am I the most tired? What zaps my energy versus gives me energy? How much energy do I have? What part of like what season am I most energized? What time of the month am I most energized? So I think there is like the more that you are able to tune in, the better. Tune into yourself and like build that the better, but please understand that your capacity will ebb and flow. And that is just part of being human. That's not because you're broken. It's not because you're bad. It's not even because you have ADHD. It's just because human capacity ebbs and flows. Okay. So, for example, after your exam, you called yourself a potato for a month. I want you to just expect that. That makes sense. Of course, you were a potato for a month. You worked so hard. There was so much adrenaline involved. There was so much getting yourself to do a hard thing that you didn't want to do. And then there's the letdown. And so give yourself the grace to have that recovery time. Okay, Chad says $200 is an average cost of one coaching session. $200 for an entire month of access to Focused, Slack, and the coaching calls is well worth it. I appreciate that. I agree with you. I had someone like do a cost breakdown and estimated that focus was worth like $1,500 a month. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was their kind of like cost breakdown of like, here's what it's actually worth. I thought that was really interesting. And again, I'm not seeing the new comments because I am scrolled up looking for questions, but do let me know when you join. Question, how do we know when to believe ourselves versus question the thoughts that are trying to sabotage? Oh, okay, I already answered that. I'm dealing with the fact that even when I have self-trust, it's a limited resource. It's actually a renewable resource. It may be limited in that it's not always there, but it is renewable. Does that make sense to you? Is that helpful? Self-trust is a renewable resource. You can continue to grow it and build it. It is something that is always available for you to grow and build. I promise. I promise you. Take it to the bank. Can you please repeat the topics that will be covered in the Summer of Self-Trust? Well, there are a bunch of topics, but yes, I would love to. In addition to coaching calls and understanding ADHD calls, we will also be doing what is self-trust, how to trust yourself with money, how to trust yourself with food, accessing self-trust through your nervous system, healing regret and past mistakes. What else here? The motivation myth and how to trust yourself with motivation, know yourself and trust your voice. And I think there's one on decisions, how to celebrate yourself, safety, soothing, and the inner child, coaching call, unmasking your ADHD, and how to make decisions, trusting your own decisions, saying no, and boundary basics. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Oh, Lindsay says, I think I've saved enough to join again. This makes me so happy. Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm looking for questions. Okay, it's no longer loading past stuff. Question, is self-trust and self-respect the same thing? I think self-respect is a really important component of self-trust, but I don't think it's the same thing. Self-respect is like one of the pillars, I would say. Like, I believe myself, I understand myself, right? And self-respect allows you then to make decisions from a place of self-trust. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, I'm so glad you came, Ronnie. That's so great. Yep, we have body doubling and focus pretty much around the clock because we have people in all different time zones doing it. How often can you use the body doubling service once you've joined? Yeah, you can use it all day, every day. We have people in there hours a day, every day. Question, how would you best approach supporting a daughter who has recently been diagnosed with ADHD and exhibits many of the same behaviors I do when I also have ADHD? Well, I have a whole parenting course within my focused program, but I would say the best thing that you can do for her is to give a lot of grace to yourself. And when she holds up a mirror to you and you see her struggling with the same things that you did, do a lot of self-soothing, a lot of self-regulating, a lot of self-compassion. I think personally, one of the hardest things about having neurodivergent children is seeing yourself in them and then becoming very dysregulated as you see yourself in them. I'm just speaking from my own experience, Ben. I'm not saying that you are doing this as well. So I think really making sure that you are working on your own self-regulation and your own internal self-soothing and self-compassion, and then just holding a lot of space and understanding for her. Yeah, this is hard. I totally understand. Tell me everything. My favorite thing to say to my kids, tell me everything. How are you feeling? Tell me everything. I want to be there for them to just say all the things, because the first 10 years of their lives, I said, you're fine. I don't want to hear it. Stop complaining. I don't want to be that person anymore. Question, how do I use self-trust to stop the overcommitment? Ooh, overdoing it, burning out cycle to understand what is reasonably within my capacity at any given time. This is such a beautiful question. And this is something that we do go into in the course. And I would say that it all goes back to believing yourself. It all goes back to beginning to develop a language and a self-talk that is compassionate. It all goes back to what do I actually want? What do I actually need? What do I actually have capacity for? Not the fantasy version that I've told myself I should be, but the real version of me. And then it's also developing the capacity to disappoint other people when you tell them no. Say it with me. Developing the capacity to disappoint other people when you tell them no. And this goes back to rejection sensitivity and emotional regulation and believing yourself and understanding that you are the one tasked with prioritizing you. Nobody else on the planet has been tasked with prioritizing you. That's your one job. Okay, I got real deep there. What else we got? I'm looking for your questions. Question, will we be able to read the comments in the replay? I have no idea. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think so. How can I get people to understand what ADHD really is and how it works and affects people without being discriminated against? I have a podcast episode coming out tomorrow, Tuesday. What's the date? June, hold on, I have ADHD, 17th. And I address this very question, okay? So I encourage you to listen to that free podcast. Let me see. Okay. How do I manage my own self-trust limiting beliefs when I feel like an imposter? Especially when my husband believes in me more than I do. I mean, this is the process, my dear. I would start with the workbook, the self-trust workbook. The little snippet that I'm giving you here, I'll post it in the chat one more time. I don't know how to make it a pretty link, Felicia. I'm so sorry. I wonder if I could just post it this way. Hold on. Let me see if this pretty link works. Start there, right? I don't know. Copy link. Oh my gosh, I think it's going to work. Tell me you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD. Oh, that looks cute. Let me know if that does not work. Question, I'm about to start med school in August. What do you think would be the top 2 things I should work on myself before I start school? Well, Anastasia, Anya, I do not know. I don't know you, my dear. I don't know, sweetheart, but I know you're going to kill it at med school. I know you're going to do a great job. I'm proud of you. It's amazing. I guess kill it at med school is not the right phrase to use, and I appreciate that. What if no one else believes in you? I'm going to say something a little bit difficult. You guys are laughing at that. I'm so sorry. I understand that was probably not the right phrase to use, and I apologize. Okay, what if no one believes in you? And I'm going to say something that I tell my members often. Ready? You might need some new people. Some of you need new people because if you're not surrounded by people who don't believe in you, those are red flags. Some of y'all need new people. If you want a community of people who will believe in you, come join Focused. Come. I've got a beautiful community of people who are going to just encourage you and believe you and surround you with support. But some of y'all need some new people. And I will go on record saying that when I did this self-development work, I looked around. It was like I woke up and I looked around and I was like, I need new people. I need some new people, because it is one thing to believe in yourself, but listen, it's actually not enough to believe in yourself. You also need to be in relationships with people who believe in you as well. Can you hear me say it? Can you hear me say it again? It's actually not enough for you to believe in yourself. You also need to be in community with people who believe you. It doesn't have to be a lot of people. It could just be 1, 2, 3. Okay. But again, self-trust is built in community. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here. Are there any questions that you have lingering that I haven't answered? Is there anyone who, Samanga says, question, where have you been all my life? I'm glad I'm here now, honey. That's great. I'm just so glad we're together. Yeah, of course. I really hope this was helpful. The replay, I just realized we will email you a replay, but it's also going to be up on YouTube. Like, it will just automatically post to YouTube. And I think that happens like within a couple minutes. So you can go back and grab it whenever you want to. When does the Summer of Self-Trust program start? You can use the code until the 20th. We have a couple calls this week still. A coaching call with one of our best coaches, Stacy, improve working memory with me. So we have 2 public calls left, not public, but 2 calls left this week. And then on Monday, we will start the self-trust content. But here's the thing, if this is something that you want, if it's not something that you want, it's totally fine. Throw it in the trash. You don't need it. But if it is something that you want, I wouldn't procrastinate. There's so much that you can access right away, including the entire self-trust course. So I'm not reteaching the exact same content. I have an entire self-trust course that I did in January of 2023. It is the best work that I have ever done. It is the content that people within the program say that they go back to over and over. So it's 8 video classes. So it goes class, coaching call, class, coaching call, class, coaching call. And then it has the 50-page workbook. And you got a small portion of that today. And so you absolutely can access that right away, and you can get involved in the program so that you're ready to start on Monday. I understand the ADHD urge to say, oh, it starts, I'll just join Monday. But like, are you going to remember? If it's something that you want, are you going to remember? Are you going to be prepared? This is part of self-trust. I know this is something that I want. I'm going to do it ahead of time so that it's ready for me when it begins. Okay? Self-trust is not, I believe I'll do it at the last minute and everything will be fine. I promise you, you'll struggle to find the links. You'll struggle to log in. You'll struggle, actually, we do make it really easy for you, but yes, if you are a current Focus member, we want to give you a gift as well. So email the team, focus@ihaveadhd.com, and we want to give you a gift because we love our members. Thank you for being a part of the Focus program. We absolutely are obsessed with you. Absolutely. Okay. I will take one more question. I see one here that actually speaks to my heart. And so I'm going to take one more question, then we're going to be done. Question. I'm making a big career move and moving my family. I'm hung up on wanting this to be the right choice. Permanent. We moved a lot when I was young, and I don't want to do that to my kids. So, Bart, I will say, I feel this so deeply because I moved a lot when I was young, and I understand the trauma of moving so much. I actually, whatever, I moved a lot. And so I feel you here. I really do. And what I want to say is that, of course, you can't guarantee that this will be a permanent move. But can you guarantee that you will be there for your kids no matter what? Can you guarantee that you will listen to them and understand them and hold space for them and be kind to them and give them space to grieve no matter what? Because I don't know about you as a kid, but when we moved, it was like kids are resilient. They're fine. We don't have to pay attention to the kids. They'll be fine. I don't even need to talk to my child about their experience of moving. Okay. So, what I will say is do what you think is best for you and your family. You can't predict that it's going to be permanent, but you can decide that you're going to have compassion and grace and understanding and make space for your kiddos' feelings no matter what. Okay. Adore you. How fun was it to be in the room with hundreds and hundreds of people with ADHD? What was that like for you? Was that so fun? This was so fun for me. I love it. This is why I do this all day, every day. This is why I coach adults with ADHD. This is why I gather people with ADHD, because our healing happens in community. Dr. Ned Hallowell says it over and over. He calls it vitamin C, community. Healing happens in community. That is true for us with ADHD. I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad you came. Make sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that I would ask, and I really, really appreciate that. And then if you want to join Focused, I have that half off coupon for you. It's $100 gift from me to you. It's just a gift. It's just a gift from me to you to break down any barriers that you might have for joining, because I know that it takes self-trust to join a class about self-trust, to join a course or a program about self-trust. I understand. All right. If you signed up, you did sign up. So if you're worried that, like, what if I lose the resource, whatever, we're going to email that to you as well. Okay. So you'll have it in email as well. Do not fret. Okay. Thank you for the coupon. That's what I needed to join. Karen, that's awesome. Okay. I'm just looking to see. All right. Adore you guys. Thank you. Heart you. Appreciate you. Use the PDF to start building your self-trust. Come join us in Focused for the summer of self-trust. It's going to be amazing. Listen to the free I Have ADHD podcast if the funds are not there, or if you just don't want to join Focus, that's totally fine. I've got so much free content for you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You can come and hang out with me on Instagram at I Have ADHD podcast if you want. We have a new podcast dropping tomorrow. Thank you to all of you who subscribed. I appreciate you so much. Very helpful. Yes, vitamin C. I love it. Okay, we're going to talk really soon. Bye-bye.